Evening all, welcome back to Destiny. Look at me arsing around and jumping in and shooting dudes and acrobating myself into, well, being killed. Actually, that was pretty bad. I should have edited it so that I look amazing, shouldn't I? Of course, I'm joking. I thought I'd give the pistol another go. It is odd that it's the space and it's future and I'm using a revolver, but there we go. You can't have everything. I think it's awesome anyway. So here we go, the little ship here that we're having this kind of really cool tussle on, and you'll see something pretty awesome here. I'm kind of lost for words with what's going on with this game because it has beguiled me quite excessively. It's impressive actually how much it has gripped me so much. I'm loving the sort of selection of character I've used, but we'll talk about that maybe today. We'll actually look through some of the character types because they do differ. There's actually quite a big difference between them. And I think maybe we'll talk about really the way that you're kind of meant to play this game, because it's likely that you would just not play as one type of character. You would have multiple characters and you would then experience the game through all of them. I don't know if that's true. I think you've got more than, well, you've certainly got more than one character slot on your game selection. I think I saw 2, but post in the comments. I think it's 3. Please post in the comments if I got that wrong. But look, here we go. We found loot. Look at that. Nice, eh? So you've got to look around. Every time you play this game, look around, because we've got something, for example, there, the house banners that I think I can sell for extortionate amount of money, but we'll see. But it's definitely worth doing this, because what I find is that the loot system at the moment is quite sparse, and you're not going to well, you will find some good guns, don't get me wrong, but I think the best guns still are from the shop. So don't kind of disregard that, because the shop seems on the whatever they call it, the tower, gives you by far the best guns so far. So definitely worth looking at that. So do hunt around, look around, and see what you can get. Anyway, let's carry on talking about our characters. So look at this. Hello. It's bizarre, isn't it? One of the things that I think people will probably find is that the characters are quite different. So the different classes are actually very different. The Titan is probably, I mean, that's what Dell's playing as at the moment, the Titan, which is an interesting one because I think that's really the tank. And again, I don't want to use the formulaic kind of breakdowns of shooters, etc. But to me, it does seem that they do kind of split into different groups. So, for example, the tank or the Titan is kind of there for your front line, taking damage, soaking damage, etc. The Wizard is obviously a magic user, so there's more of a kind of support function there. And then as playing, I don't actually know what this named character, what the class of this name is, but it's more of a scout. It's basically the dudes in the cloaks and the hood. So it's the Jedi. No, I'm kidding, it's not. It's kind of like a scout. So effectively you have the ability to do things like grenade, knife kills, things like that, and so on. And you get the sniper rifle, which is a very, very good gun indeed. But you're not restricted to it, so just because you've got the sniper rifle doesn't mean that that's all you can use. You actually then can use pretty much any gun, and I've got to admit, the one gun that I want for this character is the shotgun, because to me the shotgun is a much better gun. It's kind of my playstyle: run up close, shoot dudes, get away, and I think that is going to be pretty fun. To be honest, I think you're really kind of open. I mean, it doesn't really matter what character or style of play you go for at all, to be honest, because there's enough here to kind of mean that you can bespoke and customize every character anyway. So you could have a Titan that's a long range support, for example. So that's a good thing. I mean, again, there's no real kind of limitation there at all. Great example here. Look, there's a basement. We didn't explore it, and we probably should have. I think everywhere you go, explore. Go and explore absolutely everywhere, because there are secrets everywhere. Loot, pickups, you name it. And I think it's worth doing, because actually if you spend that extra bit of time hunting and finding stuff, you're going to be in a better position long term. I know a lot of people are racing to kind of level up. Don't, because the level doesn't mean anything. If anything, you should experience. It's like a fine wine. That was a terrible analogy, but it is literally like a fine wine. Take your time, enjoy the process of looking and hunting and finding and etc. and searching. And you'll have a better time, because otherwise you just go straight to level 8 and then you're bored of the game and you've missed almost half the game. And I think that is really something I would advise people do. So here we go. As you can see, we're looking around, and I suck terribly at this thing, so I'm still getting used to the controller. I am awful at this, but I don't mind. It's good. I like it. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've got to admit, this, even on PS3, I've got to admit, I'm amazed at how well it runs. It looks pretty okay. The palette's nice. When you think about the games that we've played on this channel on PS3, it's all pretty much dust. And you think of the color palette on dust, it's pretty much like brown was their primary color, you know. There was certainly no Picasso going on here. It was all a little bit kind of like, we need more brown in this. And I think, to be honest, that, you know, Destiny's bringing an interesting kind of refreshing palette to this. Yes, there's still lots of brown, don't worry, but it's rust brown. And I think as you go to the different planets, you're probably going to find it to be like Mass Effect, where there's lots of different styles of I don't know, colours really, and in landscapes, etc. So to be honest, I am really excited about this game, I've got to admit, and hopefully you can hear it in my voice. It's funny because if you go back to my early Dust videos, you hear the same level of oh my god in my voice as you hear in this, because I think this is something that I'm looking at and thinking this is going to be amazing. But the difference between this and Dust is, you know, Dust was a potential, Dust was a you know, a promise and a dream and of what could be, whereas it's here, this is in the game right now, and this is part of the game, and this is what I'm enjoying. So I am really quite liking this. I think this is going to be huge, I really do. This is going to be the next GTA for in terms of games. I think a lot of the fact that it's come from the Halo producers means it's going to be very well supported and taken up by the community anyway, but just the simple fact that it is a bloody good game, it has got to be the primary reason to actually give this a go. There's a lot of time, money, effort and skill gone in to produce what you see here. There we go, level 4. The leveling system's quite good actually. I mean, it doesn't make you kind of go completely nuts, but look, we've finally unlocked our big special skill, which is the golden gun, and it's the supercharge. So this is again just a great example of the progressive NPE, new player experience process, where it's just giving you unlocks every so often, so it's not overwhelming you with them. And this is such, I mean, again, people could learn from this, because this is the way to kind of make people understand how to play properly, is that you don't just give them 10 different things that they can do immediately in one go. You give them one and then let them try it for a few maps, then give them another one, then let them try it for a few more maps, and then blah-de-blah-de-blue. And that was the golden gun. So this is effectively, all of us now have got a supercharged skill that once we kill enough people, we have the right to use. So it's almost like a, I don't know, a level up, a rage, a fury mode sort of thing, which is really good. Very impressed with it, to be honest, because it does mean that it just changes the gameplay dynamics significantly. And what I've got is that golden gun, which gives me 3 shots of pure fiery energy light something. Which basically means I get a flaming magnum in my hands that I have to fire it 3 times, which is pretty cool before it disappears. And then I get that that ability every so often, and that means that I can then use that when needed. So here we go, great example here. Del just absolutely YOLO'd into the ship and died. Now, we didn't know we could do that. We were testing, can you kind of do kamikaze jumps off with the jet bike, and the answer is unfortunately no. You've got to be careful of that. But here we go. So this is a great example of where the game is not an easy, you know, day out in the beach. It is actually tough, because we've met an enemy here who is what, level 8, and that we are level 4. So he is incredibly tough. Now, this is worth mentioning because the leveling system in games is important, because you can't win everything, and that's important to me, that you can't win everything. And this is a great example here, because we are getting stomped from all angles, but most particularly this dude we're fighting over that ridge is ridiculously tough, and therefore we've got no hope of beating him at all. And I like that. There should be some unwinnable battles in everything we do. Look at that, stomp me down with 1 shot, unbelievable. So this is great, and the fact that they do have this kind of this premise that keeps you kind of on the right track, because otherwise you'd just be like, oh, let's go and shoot that, right, something over there, let's kill that, right, let's go and kill that, right, let's go and kill that, and that would get a bit boring. So this ability, it's a very Terraria-like. Again, they must have played Terraria here, because the way Terraria works is sometimes it will give you just an overwhelmingly difficult thing to do that only if you've got like the N-level gaming stuff and blah blah blah, high level, etc., can you do. And we'll show you in a few videos time actually another one where we had an event, and the event is actually ridiculously hard. I mean, it's almost impossible to think that anyone could beat it on their own or in a group of 3. And in the end, I think there's like 9 of us, 9 Guardians players who actually then, you know, take on this event. So stay tuned for that, because that's coming up in a few videos time, and it was pretty impressive, I must admit. So here we go, back on our jet bikes. Oh, it's such a lovely jaunt around the map. I am loving this game. It is just, it's got me. It's captured me completely. And again, I would remind you, on PS3, it's pretty good. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to play Destiny, but I want to play it on the PS4, can't afford a PS4, I'm not going to bother. Okay, fair enough. But if you can afford 40 quid, you're not going to have too much of a bad time on the PS3 at all. I mean, we're probably going to carry on playing on the PS3, but even if we did get a PS4, we would, you know, still run both, because to be honest, I don't see too much of a kind of problem just running both, or if I do run both, or just running one. I don't see it as a problem. But there we go. Look at that. Just show you some of the strafing, waiting for Dell. Dell's forgotten how to fly his jet bike. I'm kidding you. I don't know what's up with it, but I think he was shooting something. But look at that in the distance. Pretty much everything you see there, except into the far distance, is actually you can go up to, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty big map, actually. We forgot how big it was, and I think we'll cut there. So join us next time when we go back into finishing this mission, and we see a little bit more kind of fighting in terms of maybe the non-spawnable stuff, and maybe even a boss battle. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.